Welcome to the Luke and the Pete Show. Pete Donaldson with you, joined by Mr. Luke. We're in the room. We're in the room.
We are in the room where it happens, as they say in Hamilton.
How is you? We've not done one in remotely for a little while. How is your little room that you do your records
Quite
in?
simply too hot.
Quite simply too hot.
Do you reckon you could retrofit a proper aircon unit into an old house?
Yeah, you just need a little hole in the wall to unite the outside one.
I think I
to the
might do
inside
that.
one.
I think I might do that.
You're going to upset the French?
Why?
Because the French in particular have had an incredibly hot summer so far.
Oh, they have. That's right.
And they and there's it's basically a left-right debate. The left don't want the air conditioners to arrive because it will make the streets more hotter.
I see that.
Yeah.
So what's opening up now really clearly, and it's been happening in lots of areas of society, is it's essentially a almost a really obvious those who have money and those who don't have money two-tier system, which is hugely problematic, right? If you think about the idea that, I don't know, something more benign than climate change. It's like plane travel, right?
Yeah.
I know plane travel contributes to climate change, but that's a separate point that I'm not making. With plane travel, it's been clear for quite a long time that if you've got money, it's a far more enjoyable experience.
Right.
Because you can go lounge, nice free food, chilled out, go straight to the gate, business class or even first class, get off the other end first, and it's a lot more seamless.
Yeah.
If you're going budget, economy or whatever, these days, given the amount of flights, the amount of people, the amount of fucking shit you have to put up with, it is dreadful. That's a two-tier system. And it'll be the same with aircon. People will suffer more and more as the climate changes because the ones with money will just throw money at the problem. Like, what you could do in a really extreme case is you could pay to completely aircon your house for the next 10 years if you got the money, and then when you're fed up of that, and it's even hotter, you can just up sticks and buy a big old house up in Scotland where the climate will be much nicer.
Right.
People who haven't got money, they just suffer in the cities, and fucking it will cause loads of unnecessary deaths, and everyone will suffer really, really badly. It's so obvious that it's becoming like a proper two-tier have and have not society now, and you can say the same with, you know, so many different aspects of society.
I mean,
private health is another one.
Public transport. The heat issue is, you know, it's quite a difficult one, I suppose. For what are you doing that for?
Because it's on the floor. I don't want to tread on it.
Why are you treading anywhere near my banana on the floor?
Why is there a banana skin on the floor?
To trip you over.
Fucking Mario Kart all over again.
I'll throw it over there then.
Yeah, all right.
I'll throw it past the camera.
Don't throw Charlie.
That was like fucking 3D. That.
If Charlie sees that, you're going to get told off. You know that.
Well, maybe you should keep your sweet little mouth shut.
Oi,
what's it worth?
What are we
big
saying?
Man?
Money and not having money.
Money and not having money. Banana skins.
Yeah. Well, plane travel, private healthcare. Another one.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think private healthcare is all that good. Same doctors.
Do you know what? I've got recent experience of it because I pay every month to basically cut a long story short. I used to get private healthcare on my old job, and it was a good perk. And I wanted to carry on to maintain the loyalty thing when I left. So I just started paying it. Yeah. And it's an X amount of money a month. And since my son was born, I was like, I should probably keep it because, you know, I've kind of got used to it as an expense. It's not that expensive. We had to go to a private clinic for my son. And he's fine. It was absolutely fine. But because it was seen as a non-urgent examination or whatever it was, it was 3 months on the NHS. And I got the appointment on the Monday. Using the private healthcare, so it does make a difference. Yeah,
well, it does for I would say for.
And I think it massively makes a difference on serious issues of certain areas. In certain areas,
they put my premiums up because I used it.
Cool, but that's any insurance, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just rude, isn't it?
Speaking of insurance, I used to work with. I used to work at a gambling company. I used to work as part of my job as editor. I used to work with a lot of professional gamblers, and there was one in particular who every year would run all the data on things like crime, changes to the environment, all this kind of shit, and then work out statistically using numbers whether it was worth him buying house insurance or not.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Contents insurance.
What's it? Like I mean, contents insurance.
But you have to have certain business insurance for your mortgage, I think.
Yeah,
contents.
I don't think contents insurance is. Like, I don't know if I was in a house, what would you like? If you're in a house, what would you steal?
He was basically saying to me,
I don't have anything.
He was telling me this over a beer. He was saying that where he lives,
Yeah,
it's just the chances of it are so low
that
it's not worth paying for it.
Yeah.
And if they do get in, they're gonna nick probably X amount of stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be this amount of money. It's not worth it.
Yeah. I don't really have anything. I don't have anything valuable. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'd have to carry a lot of stuff out to make their money back. Like, they don't steal tellies anymore, do they? They'd steal they'd steal 2 laptops, one bashed up, M1 Mac and a it would just be a
What if they get in the apology cabin though?
I mean, even like none of the cameras, like the cameras, shit. My PC's like probably worth $1,000. That's it.
This is almost like a come and get me plea.
Telly, the monitor, one monitor's probably worth about 300 quid. Like, there's nothing. I guess that's worth it if you sort of make it. I would like the excuse to buy more stuff.
Look, I know, I know how it used to be done back in the day because I used to know someone who basically
was proper tasty.
Well, I was told by someone who had robbed houses that what they used to do is they used to wait for people to obviously be on holiday.
Yeah.
Right, and this is way before social media and stuff. So they weren't checking like photos and stuff. But
it's like the TV show Friends and Neighbours.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's all right. Bit of rich porn, but yeah.
Okay, what he used to do is he used to get in the house somehow, find an open door, Jimmy a fucking window lock or whatever, and there'd be 2 of them, and one of them would lay a massive blanket, a bedsheet blanket in the middle of the living room floor, and anything they saw they liked.
Pop
into
in
the
there.
blanket.
Yeah, wrap it up.
I wrap it up
like
over your shoulder.
Knapsack.
Gone in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maximum 5 minutes.
Right.
And that's how you did it.
Mm.
So I guess it's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends what your ambition for it is. I got my house broken into and stuff stolen while I was asleep in it.
Right, yeah.
About 15 years ago. And it was just some
tow rag
smackhead who wanted, and all he stole was like some painting, which wasn't really worth anything. About 60.
Why did he go for the painting?
But he was just grabbing. He was a drug addict.
Grab guy.
He got through an open window.
Yeah.
Grabbed everything he could find.
Yeah.
He stole something like that painting. Something like 20
motorcycle, topless lady.
20 CDs.
Right.
About 30 DVDs, and my girlfriend. That's it.
I mean, I guess like if you just go and hit to a day worth of drugs to a day worth of drugs, that's going to cover you for a couple of days.
Who are they selling them to though? Just like record exchanges and stuff.
Record exchanges. That used to be a big deal, didn't it? You used to sort of.
But with those places, this is naive of me, but like cash converters not check the provenance of these places. If you're obviously a drug addict, would they not say we're not buying these?
I think they've got to. No, you see the power tools and stuff, and like no one's stealing power tools from anywhere apart from people's vans. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I find that an interesting grey area because surely you've got to say where'd you get that from? What's the provenance of it?
And then but then they go, I am a labourer and I have stopped labouring because I wasn't a millionaire. I'm now a millionaire. Like what is? Yeah. Why would you not keep a tool? Like no one sells their tools, do they?
You walk in there straight away. They go skaghead.
Skaghead, yeah. That guy doesn't look very well. He's got a pot belly, but he's got quite gaunt in the face.
Because the unkind thing to say. Because obviously it's not great being addicted to things, and it's a terrible illness and all the rest of it.
Just have a little bit less every time until you're not addicted. That's what I always say. And I ruffle a little scampy hair, not scampy. But if you work in cash, off with you, scamp.
But if you work in cash converters, I'm just seeing this as from a purely business point of view. You see the people that come and you go, I can do great deals here.
What do you mean? Like, why? Like,
I can lowball all these guys.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess the whole thing is like cash converters,
and that's how they get you, right?
Yeah.
It's basically profiting off suffering, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't seek to chin off a little advertisement here and there from cash converters or CEX.
They don't pay their advertising here, do they?
I've heard CEX on radio a little bit.
Oh yeah,
and it's rather upsettingly. They shouldn't be calling it sex. It's CEX. You're being very silly if you think that's sex. That's just stupid.
But they are officially calling it sex.
They're calling it sex. Yeah.
In a kind of cynical marketing ploy.
Possibly.
I think
of no good reason why, because it's the least sexy places. Looking at old Ram behind a glass pane.
Yeah, it's not sexy. Maybe that's the irony of it, though. It's supposed to be like that. It's like a piss take.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peter, on the back of last week we talked a bit about who each of us would be in. I think I think it was maybe the Second World War. Was it the second or any war?
Right. Okay.
Any war.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story of Lieutenant General Sir Adrian Paul Guillain Carton de War?
I mean, obviously, I'm against all war stories on the show, so this better be a good one.
It is a good one,
right?
But I'm against war stories generally, but unless they're properly A, old school, and B, amazingly impressive.
Right.
So you don't really get people like this now.
Yeah.
Right. This guy's obviously some kind of aristocrat. Look at his name. He's a senior officer. As a British Army officer of Belgian and Irish descent, and was awarded the Victoria Cross, the highest military decoration awarded for valour in the face of the enemy in various Commonwealth countries. He served in the Boer War, the First World War, and the Second World War, which I think is a good shift.
That's a good shift, yeah.
He's taken all different types of war in there.
Yeah.
He was shot in the face, head, stomach, groin, ankle, leg, hip, and ear.
Yeah.
Blinded in his left eye, survived 2 plane crashes, tunnelled out of a prisoner of war camp, and ripped off his own severely injured fingers when a doctor declined to amputate them. Describing his experiences of the First World War, he wrote, "Frankly, I had enjoyed the war." If you were going to do a war story and listen to one, would you like it to be a guy who was shot in the face, head, stomach, groin, ankle, leg, hip, and ear?
I'm fascinated by ripping his own fingers off, though.
Sir Ranulph Fiennes did that, didn't he?
Right.
So Ranulph
Did they not
Fiennes,
snap them off?
so Ranulph Fiennes got such bad frostbite on, I want to say, some kind of polar expedition. And he was stranded somewhere with no chance of help for a while.
Right.
And his fingers got frostbitten.
Did he just shatter it with a...
He chopped them off and stuck them on the wall like little ornaments on a little shelf he'd made like an igloo. And was like looking at them every day. Strange stuff.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So do you have any further reflections on it? Because you thought you'd be cannon fodder, I think.
Yeah, straight in there.
But you would, but I mean, back in, being serious, all these people who like nostalgically yearn for a past that never existed always fail to realise that they would be the ones first up against the wall in these kind of things. Like whether pick your period of history, whatever period of history you want, you know, medieval times, you'd be a fucking peasant, mate.
Yeah.
You'd have a terrible life.
And all
First World War, you'd be sent over the top to your death.
Yeah. And all the ones who survived all of these kind of different wars and stuff, I mean, that I can't speak
mostly
to...
posh.
Are mostly posh, you know.
Yeah.
Adrian Paul Guillain Carton de War.
Lieutenant General.
Yeah. I know he's Lieutenant General, but you just sort of go, that's a long name, which would suggest a certain class, wouldn't it?
It would. Do you know what I always find interesting?
I even said class like that.
Class. Do you know what I find interesting is that this guy fought in the Boer War, right? But he also lived long enough to hear a Beatles album.
Nice,
Isn't
I like that.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah,
Didn't die
like
till
that,
63.
Wasn't there a guy who... The guy who was there when Lincoln was assassinated was on telly.
So he was in the Ford Theatre, I think, at the age of about 5 years old.
Whoa.
Directly witnessed the Lincoln assassination and then was interviewed on some 1950s chat show.
Mad.
But it seemed to be some kind of device where the guests on the chat show had to guess the significance of the
man. Yeah.
It's called I've Got a Secret. And this guy, he basically, I mean, he was really old, but he piped up and said, "Oh yeah, I was there when Lincoln was shot." Do you know what I thought about that instantly? I thought, can we prove that?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You claim to be 5 years old. The records would have been notoriously poor in the 1860s. Is this something, is this a bit you're doing because you're old and no one questions it? Because when you're old, no one really questions you. You can say what you want.
Well, there was last year, Harrison Ruffin Tyler was still alive. And he was the last living grandchild of John Tyler.
That's right, president.
The 10th US president, who died in 1862.
Yeah, and there are so many...
It's always just all boys having kids late.
That's because he was like... Wasn't he like in his 80s when he had his final kid or something? Yeah. And then
he loves it.
His son was like that. But, you know, speaking of the old people saying shit to get you know, whatever you want to get because no one questions it.
Or a farming.
There are
through the chopped grandparents' generation.
But there were so many people who claim to have been Civil War veterans.
Yeah,
in a way that like it was impossible to check because the records were so poor, particularly for the Confederates who were defeated.
Yeah,
because you got a pension, you got a good pension,
right?
And so the idea being that if you could claim it and no one would actively kind of disprove it, are you realistically going to keep a fairly moderate amount of money away from like an old poor man? So the amount of claimants for it
nice.
were crazy. But one thing that was really interesting is that the last pension recipient of a Civil War veteran, because I think it was passed down to daughters. So if you're or sons or daughters, so if your father fought in the Civil War and was killed, you would get his pension.
Right.
So you
until a certain age, or like what would the 100?
I think
Does it stop at 100?
I think it might have been a life pension because you were fighting for your country kind of thing. But the last recipient, so do you know? Can you guess?
Surely your life's ended. So how does that work? Like, how does it get passed down?
Because basically, so you're a son.
Yeah.
Your dad goes and fights in the war.
Oh, it's your life pension as well.
You get it for life because
right.
your father died in the war.
I see.
There was no
just
breadwinner.
one generation.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
But the last, I think I'm right in saying the last claim for a Civil War pension, which ended in 1865, the Civil War. The last claim was processed in May of 2020.
I love that.
Isn't that crazy?
Big fan of that.
Yeah.
I love all that shit.
It's crazy, isn't
Brilliant.
it? Really good. Let's take a break, Peter. When we come back, should we do some emails?
Let's do some emails. Adverts. It's a World Cup year, so we're really, really full of them.
Was some good adverts there?
Good
was
adverts there, probably.
We don't get to see them. We let people behind the curtain here. We don't get to hear them or see them.
3 semicolon 23 4. That'll be colon 4 colon 32.
What are you doing?
It's when people go in the comments and go, "This is where the show starts."
Oh,
completely ignoring that they are dynamic ads, and you could have no ads. You could have 5 minutes of ads. It depends on where you are.
What's the?
Depends what sort of person you are.
So
if you're hearing a lot of ads in Stack Podcast, it's because you're a bad person. It's a value judgment.
It's because you're easily manipulated.
Because you're easily you are.
You're a sucker. You know those
sluts for commerce.
The clever people who don't do what people tell them to do.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't get any. No point. Waste of money.
If you've ever heard a Rage Against the Machine song pre-18 years old, we don't play you any because you can't be bought.
Because fuck you won't do what I tell you.
You won't do what I tell us.
So the idea is that people post in the comments the time the show starts.
Yes, even though it's completely different every time.
What is the attitude of that? Because presumably these people pay for Sky TV and then they get adverts anyway.
That you can't fast forward. You can fast forward all of our ads. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Now, one of my big ones is the old Crooked Media, Pod Save Americas and stuff, right? Now they're heavy on ads because they're in America and they're in a huge jurisdiction and they can make a decent amount of whack, and they've got a lot of people, a lot of mouths to feed and all that stuff. But you just know when it's an ad. You just do. When I see Rory Stewart in a different piece of clothing that he was wearing earlier on, I know he's going to be yapping on about Fuse Energy.
He wears some absolute rum clothes, doesn't he? He wears like almost...
Because he's got like desert clothing when he used to live out there.
But like some kind of... He wears like Nehru jackets and stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like it.
And someone pointed out that he looks a bit like a Star Wars character, which I think he does. And that's a great compliment, by the way.
Yeah.
I think... men with
slight silhouettes but heavy features always look a bit Star Trek-y.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I think that I quite like Rory Stewart, although he is kind of... It's impossible to imagine him existing in any other country.
Yeah.
He's like a very specific product of the system that Britain still has.
A social indulgence. He's
a luxury item.
Yeah.
He's a human luxury item.
Yeah, nice to have.
Yeah. Because like, you think about it, so sometimes I listen to him and I think he seems like he'd be an entirely reasonable man. And I might have told you this before. When we first started Stack, we did try and go after Rory Stewart. We wanted to pair him up with a Labour MP and do a little politics show like that because we just thought he'd be really good. And that was around the time when I think it might have been the time when he was doing the Labour leadership stuff. The Tory leadership stuff, yeah. And I thought he seemed like quite an interesting fella. And so I've always kind of find him quite interesting. I've read a couple of his books and stuff, all very good stuff, and he writes with the style of a guy who's obviously had a very good education and all that good stuff. And then he says stuff that's like entirely reasonable. Like he'll sit there, because we live in such weird times, he'll sit there and he'll say stuff that is ultimately perfectly understandable. Like, I think that Nigel Farage is talking absolute nonsense here. I don't agree with it on a human level, but at the same time, here's why it's just absolute bollocks anyway. And you think, okay, he's quite a reasonable guy.
Yeah.
And then you think, he was the personal tutor to Princes William and Harry as well. I think I'm right in saying that. I think he was their personal tutor for a while.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so he said it's quite a weird... And then he cares massively about prisons.
Yeah.
He never stops talking about prisons.
Yeah, he's the one minister who gets given the job and then he's really fucking into it. It's like, yeah, good on him.
Yeah.
Good on him.
He would say, I've never been more upset and offended than when I saw how we treat our prisoners in this country, kind of thing. It's like, he seems like a good guy, but he's also mad.
Yeah.
It's really lot to take in. Anyway, what were we talking about here, Mel? Because you talked about adverts. I think you should understand that we are an independent company and we are funded almost entirely by adverts. And
That's the game we're in.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And we're by what I don't mind people complaining, but I do mind when they complain in a way that suggests that we are the only people doing this, and it's some kind of amazing, offensive insult.
And we have got an option to not hear them.
Yeah,
we do have an option. To not hear them.
Which we don't want people to do because we want them to hear them because we want to get the money because we need the money.
No, I mean you have an option to you can
Pay.
sign up to our Patreon
On Ramble.
on Ramble.
We haven't got Patreon here though, have we? It's a good idea though.
Good idea. Yeah.
Let's see what you've done, listeners,
Right,
by you complaining.
Yeah, see?
Anyway, emails. Do the email here from Adam.
3:53. Adam. Afternoon, the Luke and the Pete. Long-term listener, but never emailed. I aim to find a worthy battery to submit to the Battery Daddy one day, but I have not yet succeeded. After the recent podcast regarding Luke's AI attempt to put Pete in a barrel, which was atrocious,
It was dreadful.
I felt the urge to give it a go myself. Please find the attached image and hope it is worth your time. All the best, Adam. Obviously, I think we're both broadly anti-image generation on AI, but you have to say he's done a lovely job.
It looks decent. It looks the best compliment I can pay it.
He's given me some nice broad shoulders.
It looks exactly what I wanted to get when I did it.
Yeah.
And what I like about I mean, we share it on the socials so people can see it. But what I like about it is it's kept the type of shoes that you would definitely wear.
Yes,
Are they your actual shoes? You think?
I think they probably are. Yeah, because that's an Arkiva red carpet that I would have been on. It's a shot from the Radio Awards from the governing body Arkiva.
And has it made you feel like you've missed a trick by not wearing a barrel and a watermelon hat?
I do look very happy. The thing that gets me is that the most I think AI can sometimes feel a little bit. Not imposing, but quite what do you call it when you sort of get inside someone and just it's quite exposing.
Sex.
It's a bit weird to see my legs free of tattoos because I've had tattoos.
Oh yeah,
like, most of my life now, and it's
kind
of weird.
Quite problematic, aren't they as well?
Problematic.
The cat in the hat.
What? Like you can't buy a cat in the hat? Has that been? Of course, you can buy a Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss has been cancelled, hasn't he?
He's not been cancelled. He's just been linked to anti-Semitic tropes and imagery.
So
you can still go into a shop and buy a cat in the hat book.
But what's interesting to me is that all it takes for you to stop being the most woke man on earth is to have a tattoo of that issue.
Exactly. Yeah.
In which case you go, he's not been cancelled because I've decided he hasn't.
I'm just saying
everyone else gets cancelled.
I'm just saying he's not been cancelled, but he comes from a long line of literary, quite distasteful imagery based on caricatures of the Jews, which we obviously do not endorse on this show.
No, but do you regret the tattoo?
Not necessarily. It's a different time, wasn't it? I didn't know about that.
What year did you get the?
I was like 18.
So what year did you get the tattoo?
Thick as mints, wasn't I?
What year did you get the tattoo?
18.
So
what year?
1999.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on. Oh no! Before you carry on, can I just say I think that the one improvement I would make to this AI generated image is there's no holes for the arms.
I don't think you didn't have holes for arms, did you?
But what are you going to do if you fall over?
I think you just pull your arms out of the top, which is even better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
that's
just
right.
Covers everything. And a lovely little watermelon on the head with the stalks. You never see those little stalks.
No,
you never see them in
off.
Japan where they're selling you a watermelon for like 50 quid.
I've tried really hard to find a watermelon big enough so I could get my son to wear it as a pair of pants. And I could not find one anywhere.
Yeah,
no, you don't get. My wife was saying in the UK.
Have you thought about a marrow?
Again, not big enough.
Consider a marrow.
By the way, what is it? How do you eat a marrow? What's it for?
I don't even know what's inside it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it just a word for a big squash?
I guess so. Yeah, it's just for farmers to show off the size of the thing they've made.
Yeah, like what's his name? That famous guy on Instagram who I follow.
Oh yeah, you love a bit of him.
Gerald Stratford.
Gerald Stratford.
You know what I love about him? He loves growing these amazing things, and in his Instagram bio just says heavy into big veg.
Nice.
I love it.
Let's have an email from
do you want
Dave.
Petonk Dave?
The Petonk Dave. Yeah. Hi, Luke and Pete. Hope life is going well. Listen to Monday's show about Pete's ant invasion. I've been nodding along in solidarity. I'm currently locked in what can only be described as the Second Ant World War. We reckon there's an absolutely colossal colony living under our patio. Every crack and hole has ants peeking through. My partner and I actually found ourselves having a genuine conversation about the morality of killing them recently too. They're not exactly dangerous. They're not spreading plague. They're just unbelievably annoying. Waking up to what looks like 100 tiny six-legged commuters marching across your kitchen floor isn't ideal. My son is 3.5 and even he's fed up with them. Our garden now resembles one of Pablo Escobar's warehouses. There's so much ant powder scattered around the patio that if you flew a drone over it, customs would probably kick the front door in. Then I discovered ant bait stations when, if you think about it, are absolutely horrific. You put out what is essentially ant nectar. The worker ants think, result! Someone has opened an all-you-can-eat buffet. They excitedly carry it home to the queen, proudly feeding the entire colony, only to accidentally wipe out everyone that they've ever loved. It sounds morbid, but it's needed at this point. I do find myself feeling a little bit guilty right up to the moment I find another line of them heading towards the dishwasher like they're invading Normandy. I've never seen so many of the buggers. What's Pete's solution? Anyway, I love the show as always, lads. The Petanque guy, Dave.
Yeah, Dave got to grab me in the Leon Sorrent car park and said, I'm the Petanque guy.
Yeah.
And then we had a quick conversation.
You'd think that the ants, as they're sort of coming out from wherever their underground lairs, they're dragging sand with you. So your garden is going to be covered in sand, which is perfect for the Petanque guy, isn't it? So
it's true.
Maybe, Dave, they're slowly creating a lovely little Petanque state.
They're just trying to help you, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
I also find it morally difficult because ants are known as being fiercely intelligent, aren't they?
Yeah.
Very complicated.
For their size, though, isn't it? It's like, it's all relative, isn't it?
Very complex environments and societies and stuff. But, where do you draw the line? I know that Rick Edwards, your friend of mine, refuses to eat octopus.
They're too clever.
He said it's not right.
Did you hear my ant fact on the Ramble a couple of days ago?
Yes, I did.
Interesting, that one, isn't
grandfathers but no fathers.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the explanation.
Because the unfertilised eggs become males and the fertilised ones become women.
That's right. That is really good.
Women.
I've
seen ants. There's some sexy ones in that film.
How do you know when you're looking at them which one is a woman and which one is a man?
They are big swinging ant knobbers wobbling around. Yeah.
Do they?
Look. We're gonna end the show with a lovely little clarification.
Okay.
Thank you, producer Rory. Dr. Seuss.
Producer Rory. The disrespect.
Dr. Seuss is racist.
Peter,
what?
Producer Rory.
Sorry.
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ. Sorry. That's a terrible thing to say.
You were about to say, let me do that again.
Let me do that
I was going to say, no.
People
need to know what you're like.
I've been watching too much World Cup.
People need to know the working conditions. Pete Donaldson snorted a line of ants like Ozzy Osbourne. At least he liked it because a couple of them were lady ants.
Sorry, Bruno. Bruno's got the most memorable name of the production staff because of the brilliant song from the film Encanto.
Do your bit then. You don't talk about Bruno because you call him Rory.
Really? I mean, to be fair, Bruno does do so many clarifications on almost exclusively my content. I should hate him.
Human safety net, they call him.
I know. Dr. Seuss's racist stuff was about caricatures of black and Asian people. I can't find anything about him being anti-Semitic. In fact, it seems like he's very much anti-Jewish hate. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't
know what you phrase that. He was very much anti-Jewish hate.
Anti-Jewish hate, right? He was very. We hear about the anti-Semites.
Yeah.
What about
the pro-Semites?
The pro-Semites.
Would you be more comfortable doing a clarification to your clarification? How long is this going to go on for?
I'm pro Pete Donaldson. That's what I am. I'm anti everyone else. That's the problem. I don't actually. To be fair, so then we can enjoy the books that don't have any black or Asian characters in them, presumably.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless the cat was some kind of Chinese kind of allegory. I don't know. They're big into cats over there.
So you're basically saying that you can have your cat in the hat tattoo.
I can have a cat and eat it.
Because it wasn't a direct
There's no,
stereotype.
Green eggs and ham.
There's no cats being annoyed.
There's no cats being, there's no,
okay.
Yeah, we're good.
But if you want to, it's fine.
It's
fine to align yourself with whoever you want to align yourself with, Peter. I like the idea of there being a big topical debate on a TV show and you just jumping in there going, no one's talking about how well he drew cats.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the cats?
Look, in this day and age, in 2026, the anti-Semites are having their day in the sun, I think it's fair to say, and the Jews are having a fucking terrible time. So, let's spread it around, I say.
So you want more Dr. Seuss?
I want more Dr. Seuss, not less Dr. Seuss.
On that note, let's get out of here. And I will once again be absolutely stunned by what you get away with compared to what I don't get away with.
I love it.
See you next time.
Because there's no lapse Reddit, that's why. See you next time. Bye.